Hello, my lovelies. I'm having some technical and technological difficulties, but I'm not letting it stop me. It's the moon, or it's my process, or both. I don't know. Sorry, I'm just putting my sage back together. So I hope you're doing well, and thank you for joining me. Today I wanted to talk about positive thinking. Positive thinking has become considered mindfulness-ish, but a new agey concept that came out quite a while ago. However, I find that in the concept of positive thinking, there's a missing component that I'm not sure is being talked about as much as it should. I don't know if that's out of misunderstanding or wishful thinking. However, the way that I'm being told to understand positive thoughts and affirmations is to develop a positive thought and an affirmation, and at the same time, for the same issue, there must be an action step. It's just something that for most of the subject matters is just a requirement to finalize the change. We are conditioned, at least, well, in most countries I believe, but certainly here in the US, we're conditioned to consider learning the way that we learn at school. At school we have a curriculum and it's set for us, and we have homework and we have a process to complete the homework, and then we have tests and quizzes and a grade, and then we move on. Spirituality is not like that. But let's go back to positive thinking. So with positive thinking, if you're attempting, like in our last video we were talking about turning a negative attribute that you've attached yourself to from your past, and turning it into a positive attribute, and thinking of it in a way that actually helps your life versus creating a bitterness or a condemning of that particular characteristic. To also create a way to physicalize, create some sort of physical, tangible homework to help support the positive thought. Because if you just have positive thinking, then you're kind of sitting back, kind of hoping something's going to happen, and see, it doesn't really have to be effective if it doesn't really happen and there's no results. And part of the action step is that you have a responsibility to do a portion of the work. When I have clients that I'm helping, I'm always giving them homework, because it's not about me finding the answers alone. It's about the client listening to those answers, and if they feel right and they make sense, then there must be an action step to support, a homework step to support that new concept, because it's brand new, right? So if you're, for example, I'm just being shown a tricycle on a bicycle with training wheels. If you are learning to ride a bike, or relearning how to ride a bike, it's going to be wobbly for a little while until you get that pattern and that comfortability to implement that new or relearned momentum. And so the homework is pretty detrimental to that. Now, sometimes people will use journaling, meditation. There are lots of different ways to implement a homework. However, you do want to consider something kind of physical, on the physical side. I don't really have any examples other than that tricycle, bicycle one right now. But so that is part of the missing key in the whole positive thinking concept. So it's positive thinking with a homework exercise, okay? And there was a discussion that I had with a client about like this, school scenario again, where there's the homework and then there's the midterm and then there's the grade and then you progress. Well, in spirituality and being in the flow with nature, there aren't these like grandiose grades that you get that tells you, hey, good job, now you can move on. Sometimes there are. Most likely, most often, there are real subtle good job that come along more often. And there are really subtle inferences that you're on track. But you have to look for them. We have to see them. We have to be willing to see them, and not just, oh, I won the lottery. That's what I've been hoping for. It has to be able. We have to be able to see the subtleties as well as a supportive mechanism, and not just the grandiose ones. So, and those are harder, and they're harder because you have to slow down. You have to be open. You have to be willing to see them in a subtle way. So my challenge was to get this freaking video done because all of the technical difficulties. Your challenge is to see what positive thinking attribute you want to sustain through an action step, and to be supported with an action step. And see what that might be. See what that I've had suggestions to clients like get a coloring book because they needed to get comfortable going back to that kind of primal drawing. Gosh, I'm trying to think of some other ones. I've had some people needed to go to a dance class. I've had some people needing to hang on the monkey bars. All sorts of stuff. And they all represent the different symbolic supportive mechanisms for that positive thinking. So if somebody was trying to allow themselves to be more childlike or playful, that would be when the monkey bars and the, go to the park and play on the apparatuses. When the toddlers are on there, it's a challenge, but it's also a physical exercise to help support that belief. So those are ideas. So that's your challenge. And I wanted to give you today, since we're doing kind of more physical homework, I wanted to give you a little physical exercise. And I have been trained, and I teach a system called foundation training. And within that, the concept of the foundation training is that the postures and the positions that are held within that system are re-engaging very primal core muscle chains that help support the body. And the biggest concept of it is called decompression, which means that our body can compress with gravity, or it can decompress when we ask the muscles to lift. And in the last video we were talking about some of the issues with technology, and that would be one of them, that we have fed the compression model even more so than we've ever had before. So I'm going to give you a decompression model and see. It's pretty, it's complex and simple. That's kind of what I like to do is complex and simple stuff. Mostly simple, although getting to it is a little bit complex. So listen along, repeat the video, just do the best you can, you know, grasp the parts of it that you can. And you can do it, you can do this in your car at a stoplight as long as you put the car in park, because I've tried it in a different way and you will start rolling, so don't do that in not in a parked mode. You can do it at work when you're on the chair and the computer to kind of, you know, alter the stagnation of your body while you're at work or while you're on the computer for way too long, or in class, because it'll just look like you're standing tall and no one will say anything. So you are going to put your get your bottom kind of to the edge of whatever you're sitting on. If you're in the car, you could stay in the kind of bottom to the back of the seat is okay. And then you're going to put your feet together so that they're touching, right? And you're going to lift your toes back towards your face so that just the heels are touching. And then you're going to separate the heels from a parallel position to an out position, but the toes are going to stay touching. Okay? So toes are lifted, toes are touched, and the heels are wide. And then what that does is that pulls your legs closer together, and we're going to attempt at an inner thigh squeeze. And if you need something to put in between your thighs, if you're either muscle weak or your thighs don't touch, or you just need the support, then just grab a water bottle or your wallet or something like that and squeeze it in your inner thighs. Okay, so our lower legs, our lower body is in tension on purpose, and do not squeeze your bottom. Okay, leave your bottom loose. From there, what you're going to do is lift up your spine out of your pelvis, nice and elongated, and then you're going to lean slightly forward. So you're going to feel a little bit of a stretch in your lower back. Okay, so toes up, toes touching, heels apart, inner thighs squeezing. Spine is lifted slightly forward. Relax your booty, and you'll feel the tension in your legs almost right away. And then from there, you're going to extend and elevate your head as well and slightly retract it. Okay? Because this is what we're normally doing, right? We always stick our head forward on the phone, on the computer, driving, doing makeup, all that sort of stuff. So we're going to remind it the opposite. So lifting the spine, lifting the head, and slightly retract. Okay? And you're going to find that your body gets a little tense, and that's okay, because you're stretching it in the opposite direction. From there, you're going to squeeze your abdomen, your abdominal muscles, so that it can help you support, so you're not just using your hip flexors, your leg muscles, your hinge muscles. Okay? And so then all the breath is going to happen up and through here, but in the 360 of our cage. Alright? So breathe in and squeeze your stomach muscle and exhale, but don't let the chest drop each time you exhale. Okay? So you're going to lift, breathe, squeeze the abdomen, and exhale, and just let the ribs go in, but not down. Right? And the arms, you're going to take them to your side at your hips and squeeze the shoulders, or open the shoulders this way, but squeeze the elbows towards into the ribs as you breathe. And you can bend them and put the outside of your hands at your hips, at your thighs, but you're going to press inward, okay? And actually the elbows are going to be relaxed, so we're just going to press the outer edge of our hands at our thighs. So lifted, head slightly retracted, lean forward to get the back tension, and then pull your heels towards your booty. And that's a lot right there. And then you decompress your breath. Inhale and squeeze the abdomen. Exhale, don't let the ribs deflate. Okay, inhale. Exhale, abdomen strong, don't let the ribs deflate. Keep the clavicles open, toes up, toes touching, thighs squeezing together, lifting up out of the spine, breathe in, ribs up, squeeze the abdomen, exhale, and don't let the abdomen go. and relax. Can you imagine? Just that is a great workout. So you may feel it in different places. You may feel the front of the thighs. You may feel the lower back a little bit. And that's really more about re-educating than it is about anything else. So you can do those. And if you just do 5 rotations of breaths throughout like the hour, you do a couple of sets, it's really going to save your back. It's really going to save your body. You're going to get some good breath, which is really important. And a little rejuvenated, I would say. That's what I feel. So, again, that's foundation training. There's lots of steps and series of strengthening exercises, but those are ones that you can do kind of everywhere. So, I thank you for listening. I hope that was helpful, informative, and or entertaining. And I will see you again tomorrow, being day 3. And I wish you much empowerment. And remember that with each video I'm giving a challenge exercise for you. Please do not feel like you have to do each one. Do the one that feels like it resonates with you, with a caveat. If I give you an exercise and you get riled up, or if you get sad, extra sad, that may be the one you need to focus on. So that's a consideration. And stay with it until it feels like it's, you know, creating a pattern of benefit. If you have questions or comments, again, note them below. I'm here to help. I'm here for information. I've got to get this out. So if you know anybody else that you may think would be interested in hearing this, just forward it to them. Let them make their own decision. In my lifetime, I've had many people try to decide who's ready for me, and that hasn't worked out really well. So don't do that. Okay. Thank you so much. I wish you much empowerment, and I will see you again.